Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Blade, a Hong Kong action film from 1995. It stars Zhao Wenzhuo and was directed by Tsui Hark as a retelling of the one-armed swordsman. So when a master swordmaker adopts the son of a murdered friend, the boy learns the master's craft of manufacturing blades. He also learns of his father's death at the hands of a mysterious, tattooed killer, which inspires him to take up his father's broken blade and seek vengeance. Unfortunately for him, the master's daughter, who also narrates the film, runs into trouble with a group of thugs. He goes to rescue her, but gets his arm cut off in the process and subsequently falls off of a cliff. So he is subsequently nursed back to health by a peasant, but abandons his quest for revenge due to his handicap. Meanwhile, the master's daughter and a friend search for our protagonist. So I'm going to tell you right now that this is a very pessimistic movie, especially in terms of its depiction of humanity. It distinguishes itself with its sinister atmosphere and nihilistic philosophy. For example, one of the themes is the never-ending cycle of vengeance, and this film does a very good job of communicating that theme through the eyes of our protagonists. So our male lead attempts to live a normal life, but, is consistently dragged into conflict because of the evil of humanity and the fact that it's everywhere around him. In like matter, our female lead is also exposed to the cruelties of humanity, even when surrounded by other protagonists, which provides a little bit of interesting dynamic there. Consequently, The Blade is a mostly dark, gritty, and violent experience, but it thankfully does not go overboard in this regard. None of the violence came off as mean-spirited or particularly graphic, and there's a strong artistic flair that's present throughout. So there's a nice balance here that makes it entertaining. It doesn't get, gratuitous or overly disturbing, I'll put it that way. It avoids that. Now, one memorable aspect of The Blade is its visceral style. There's some awesome, moody lighting at times, with great use of red. Camera work and editing exhibit an intensity and that mirrors and accentuates the aforementioned themes. Now, in terms of action design, the camera work does employ some close-up shots and rapid-fire editing. I noticed this more during a recent viewing and less so during my first viewing years ago, likely because I'm more cognizant of such things nowadays. This particular style of action can very easily derail a movie, and we see it all the time in Hollywood fight sequences that are cut up so much that it's impossible to figure out what's going on or who's punching who, you know what I mean? But fortunately, the filmmakers of The Blade do a good job of maintaining that, character geography and editing the film so the viewer does not get lost at what's happening on screen. In most cases, you can clearly see the martial arts choreography on display. But with that said, I do think that this film does lose a little bit of clarity due to this frenetic visual style. But it thankfully avoids a descent into Paul Greengrass territory. So I can honestly say that I was never really irritated by the quick cuts in The Blade due to how they were put together. But those of you who have an extreme dislike for this style of action may find it a little bit distracting. In this case, though, I think it works well. So, for example, one of the highlights is actually a very intense, suspenseful, claustrophobic fight scene within a series of tan-colored bamboo scaffolds. So look out for that one, and the final duel is also very good. It's actually quite funny when you think about it. Soon after this movie, Tsui Hark teamed up with Jean-Claude Van Damme to make Double Team and Knockoff. Talk about an odd transition. So The Blade is widely available on DVD, and I do recommend it, but the version that I previously showed in my DVD collection video is the English dub-only version, with no original language option. Apparently, the newer Warner Archive collection release has the original language, but the English subtitles are hearing impaired only. So there's really no perfect release of this. I'm actually thinking about picking up that Warner Archive collection release just because the English dub in this one is just kind of, it's kind of cheesy. It's like most English dubs. So I would recommend you watching this in its original language with subtitles. And as always, We will see you next time.